I chose a recipe that I just found it just not long ago, a few weeks ago. And you can use it as a loaf for patties. And I just had a craving. I want some good pecan patties. And so I started searching online and I said, wow, this guy has a real good recipe. And I said, I can modify a little bit. And it was a Seventh-day Adventist pastor that was demonstrating it. I couldn't believe it. And I said, wow, I'll just have to modify just a little bit of it, not much. But anyways, that's what we are going to demonstrate today. Let me get my paper. I think that's it. It's a very simple recipe, very quick to make. And as you can see, that at the beginning of this recipe, you have to bring, which is, I'm doing that now. I did get it hot earlier, but I'm trying to get it, I took it off, so I'm trying to get it boiling again. So what you want to do, this calls for 4.5 cups of water, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1/3 cups of water with the, this is better than Bouillon, and it's non-GMO, and I got this at Costco. So what I do, I just take 1 tablespoon of it and mix it with 1/3 cup of water and put it in the pot, to boil, because that will season it. Now you can use more than 1 tablespoon. It depends on what you want to season with. This recipe is versatile. You can, if you like spicy burgers, you can just add whatever you want in it. So you don't have to, this is just plain that I'm going to be demonstrating. And you use whatever seasonings you want in it. Just make it your own. But this is...
Can you use vegetable broth?
You can do that.
The water?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yes, definitely. Whatever you can just change things. You see 1/3 cup. Well, just substitute it for 1/3 cup. And that's what I did with the recipe that it called for 1/3 cup of Bragg's amino acids. I used coconut amino acids before, and it came out, good. But I felt as though I needed a little bit more salt in it, so I added a little bit more salt. So it depends on your taste buds, how you like it. So you just have to experiment with it. This one is sort of like more plain. And to me, I don't mind it, because if you just want plain burgers, when you eat hamburgers, I remember in the past, it didn't have all that different types of spices and stuff in it. So if you just want a plain burger, have like cheeseburger, you can put cheese on it, you can have lettuce and tomato. When I first made it, Norman and I said, wow, this is a good recipe. And I think it's the pecans that really make it taste good, the pecans. It also calls for onion powder and salt. And of course, pecan meal. Now you see the pecan meal, they want 4.5 cups of pecan meal. Now if you don't have pecan meal, just use 4 cups of pecan halves, put it in your, what's it called? Your food processor. And until you make a meal like this one, like this, it comes out like that. So that is your 4.5 cups. 4 cups of the pecan halves makes 4.5 cups of the pecan meal. So then, let's see, what else? Calls for 3 cups of old-fashioned oats. Did I put it in here? No. Let me go get it. Let's see. No, that's not it. I know I brought it. Oh, it's right there in front of me. Sorry about that. Okay. I was looking for a bag. I thought I put it in a bag, but I didn't. Okay, so I have my oats in here. I have my flaxseed. The 3 cups of old-fashioned oats. This is just a half recipe I'm demonstrating right now. So this is just half of a recipe, because I already made a whole recipe already, so it's already cooked. So 3 cups of old-fashioned oats, 1 cup of quick oats, and then I got the flax seed in here as well. You just get the flax seed and you ground it up in a seed grinder. Okay, so that's it. So when we have this boiling, still it's trying to come to a boil. So what you're going to do after is add all this stuff in here, all that in there. You're going to mix it up, and I'm going to show that to you. It's almost ready to boil. Yeah, it's almost on the verge. I think it'll be okay though. A few more minutes. But is there any questions that before I go on to
What's
that?
in the pot?
And the pot that's boiling right now is 4.5 cups of water. And also the 1/3 cup of water plus the 1 tablespoon of the better than bouillon. And also the garlic powder, the the basil, and the salt. And that's it. So you're going to put that to a boil. And then you're going to let it soak for about 15 or longer, you know, how long you want to, because it's kind of hot. After you put it in there, you might want to wait more than 15 minutes. It depends. And then we're going to make patties of it. Now these patties make 18 to 22 burgers. Now I've made less. It depends on how big you make them, but it depends on how you want to make your burgers. You can make them, like this time I used a 1/4 cup, and that made more than 22. I think I came out with 20 something, more than like 24 maybe. But on one time I used a wide lid jar for, you know, mason, and I didn't get as much, but they were big. And so if you like a big burger, you can make, you know, larger ones. So it's up to you. Huh?
Can you freeze them?
Yes, yes, you definitely can freeze them. You know, make them ahead of time and freeze them. And this is ready, so now we can do this. So let's see. Oh, that's kind of hot to put in there. I wish I can.
Look behind you.
Oh, yes.
Open the cabinet up there.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you. I didn't think about that. Yeah, yeah. For both, yeah. I didn't think about that, about being so hot. So now we are going to, let me put it, oh, gotta go down this way, I guess. Yeah, okay. So now we are going to put in the oats and the flaxseed, the quick oats, and the whole oats. These are all organic too, that I'm putting in. You're gonna mix that up. And it seems kind of like not real thick. When you first, that's why you have to let it sit there, because the oats will absorb and it'll get thicker after it sits. And then we're gonna add in the pecan meal. Oh, and that's what makes it good. I just love this recipe, I really do. Now I haven't tried the loaf yet, but I'm gonna experiment on that. But I'm sure the loaf is just as good. You could put, like, you know, when you used to make the, when I was growing up, my mom, she used to always make the best meatloaf. I was, you know, of course, I was eating meat at that time. But I always put some ketchup or something on top of it. And it was so good. And then she used to put Worcestershire sauce inside the, you know, meatloaf, you know, the hamburger and everything. I mean, my mom, to me, was the best cook. And so I try to sometimes demonstrate, you know, things in the past where, you know, that I really enjoyed, and I try to substitute things that comes close to it, you know, try to come close, bring back some of those memories. So it was good memories growing up. So now you see that it's not that thick right now, but it's going to thicken up. So what we're going to do, we're going to let it sit, let it get cooler, and then we're going to come back and we'll do the patties. Okay, now for the second part, just doing the burgers. I'm sure everybody knows how to make burgers. Okay, so now we're just gonna, this is a 1/4 cup measuring cup. And all I do is just, you know, stick it in like that, get a good scoop out. It's so easy. Usually it came off yet? Yeah, there it goes. And you can just flatten it a little bit. Does it show it? Yeah, well, like it. It comes out a nice, you know, pretty nice. And you just flatten it a little bit. It's very easy, simple to do. And you can make it how flat you want it. This looks like it's going to make a lot. This is just a half recipe, so it looks like it's going to make a lot of burgers. The first time I made this batter, I mean, the one that I made a few days ago, the batter wasn't as thick as this one. This is the way it's supposed to come out. And my fault was this, why it wasn't so thick, is that when I blended up the pecans, I used a blender. You know, don't use a blender. because it makes it more, not like a meal, but it's more thinner, like a pulp or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the blender I have, because the blender I have is like a high, like Vitamix, and they really just eat up the nuts and just blend it up
Oh,
to a
that's
puree almost, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so no, just use the food processor because you just want a pecan meal. You don't want a puree pecans in there. So this is a lot better. And this is how it was the first time I made this, you know, like this. Because I wasn't thinking that day, you know, with the toothache and everything I've been having, and I just wasn't thinking straight. And I said, why did I put it in the blender? You know, sometimes you just do that. And it's like, why did I put that in the blender? And I tell the difference in the patties and how thick it was. You know, this is a lot. That's how it was the first time I made it, really thick. Comes out real thick. I like that thickness.
You know, I like it. I got a pecan oatmeal recipe too, and I use it sometimes my husband to make like sausage for breakfast.
Oh.
So I add the sage.
Yeah, that
Use
sounds
it to get
nice.
that breakfasty taste. So
Yummy.
you can use it. It's real flexible.
Yum.
The recipe is,
Yum. Is it sort of like this recipe?
yeah.
Is it really?
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Oh, my, I'm going to try that because, yeah, that'd be good. Put the sage in. How much sage did you put in? You put in a lot or?
The only time I cook my recipe if I gotta tell somebody else how to do it. I just add stuff.
Just add it in? Yeah.
I don't know that recipe.
I like sage and stuff, especially if it tastes, you know, like, you know, sausage, you know?
Yeah.
Because that does have sage in it, I think. The sausage does. Ooh, I might get more than a pan full. And you get it pretty much to say I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 9, 12, 13 in there. So this is just a half recipe. So I must have got probably 26 or something like that from that, maybe a little bit less. But it makes a lot of burgers, so you can always freeze them, you know, for other time if you don't eat them right away.